So we touched on this last week on the show, but we are going to dive more into this topic today. We're dealing with divorce on social media, the do's and don'ts of what to do if you are dealing with a divorce in 2014. There's a certain way that you need to be on social media. We're going to find out what it is next. Welcome back to the broadcast. If you or someone you know is going through a divorce, no matter how nasty it is, have you talked about it on social media? Well, the age of share everything has certainly made divorce more difficult. So Melinda Eitzen is here to tell us more. Melinda, you've written this great book called Considering Divorce. This is your second book, right?
That's correct.
On the topic. And so nowadays, I guess dealing with divorcing couples is a little different because social media is so prevalent. And people air their dirty laundry all the time on social media. So what do you tell people who are going through a divorce?
Well, our first piece of advice is don't be on social media. But they don't always take that first piece of advice.
Right.
One thing they need to be aware of is in Texas, you are either married or you're divorced. There's no legal separation.
Really?
So, right.
But some states have a legal separation.
That's correct.
So what does that mean? What are you allowed to do? What are you not allowed to do when you're in this state of separation in Texas?
So because we have no legal separation, adultery is adultery up to the day that you're divorced.
But it's not, again, can you be charged for that?
It's not a criminal offense, but it could affect your divorce. So as the divorce lawyer, I'm thinking about how am I going to settle this case or how am I going to try it to a judge or a jury and when.
Would that weigh on a judge and jury if a divorce went to trial? Would that topic weigh on them?
Yes. So two areas. One, custody. So if you're having a big custody fight, if it looks like you're spending a lot more time and energy and focus on this new love than on raising your kids, that can be a problem. And it's also a factor in the division of the estate. So we have a laundry list of reasons that we do something different than a 50-50 division, and adultery is one of them.
Really?
And third, it really makes it harder to settle your case if you're having an affair.
So it drags on longer?
Oh, it drags on longer. It's more expensive. You're paying me more money, which is good for me, but bad for you. And I tell my clients, look, you can put your kids through college or my kids through college. It's better to put your kids through college.
Even if the couple has an agreement, like we've been separated for this long until the divorce is final, you're seeing people, I'm seeing people, even if there's like a verbal agreement between them, it can still get nasty?
I think if it's a real agreement that they're both willing to keep, then that's going to be fine because that's going to turn into a settled case and they can consider their agreement. But sometimes people think they have an agreement and then the other side says, I didn't agree to that.
Exactly. So you're saying stay off social media, as in you don't have to post anything about, you know, your spouse or...
It's a time to go silent. And what happens is, even if you're not posting, even if the person divorcing isn't posting, they can't control what other people post.
Right.
So we've had cases where the new girlfriend is the one posting, and she's posting pictures of her and the guy together. She's posting pictures of her with their children.
Oh.
That's really offensive. And sometimes it's not even my client, if I'm representing the wife in that instance, that finds it, it's her girlfriend. Because they're all over there.
What about if you reverse that and you have a couple that is divorcing and maybe one of them is kind of hanging on a little bit more and starts posting pictures on Facebook of like them as a happy couple? Is that something that you've had happen with any of your couples?
I would say,
where the other one's going, why are you doing that? Why are you posting these pictures of us as a happy couple when we're clearly not? We're getting a divorce.
I do think sometimes people are in denial and that plays out in social media, and it's best if the other person just ignores it.
Right.
It's not really hurting anything. It's a strange communication. It's probably embarrassing more than anything.
Right, but
and
best to just ignore it.
Yeah, ignore it. If they are communicating effectively at all, or if they do have help in their case with a counselor that maybe is doing some divorce counseling, then in that setting they could say, why don't we both agree we're not going to be on social media?
Yeah. So that's really the bottom line. It's just, there are all sorts of rules about how you should act on social media during a divorce, but the best thing I think you said is just stay off it.
And for your kids, if not for yourself, think about your children. It's going to be embarrassing to them, and it will come around where they'll find out because their friends' parents might be getting that social media.
Right. Well, thank you for sharing these tips. And of course, you talk about social media in your book and a multitude of other things that are really helpful to couples who are going through this difficult time, and ways to make it more amicable and not such a difficult thing.
That's the goal.
That's the goal. All right, Melinda, thank you. You can get more from Melinda by going to thebroadcasttv.com. Just click on today's links real quickly. Where can people get your book?
Amazon.
Amazon. Okay. And it is called Considering Divorce: Critical Things You Need to Know.